Joe Biden and Kamala Harris that they literally allowed fraudsters to pillage American taxpayers. And the fact is that now we have a president in Donald J. Trump. We have a vice president in J.D. Vance. President Trump signed an executive order putting this fraud task force together, led by J.D. Vance, and they are making sure that investigators have every resource necessary to investigate, to hunt down these fraudsters and put them behind bars. The fact is that in the prior administration, we had U.S. attorneys and others that were putting aside fraud investigations, saying that it didn't meet a certain threshold. Vice President Vance has made it very clear. There's no fraud too small and there's no fraud too big. We are going to hunt down each one of them and make sure that they are brought to justice and they are held accountable for taking taxpayer money.
Well, it's been nice to see also the Trump administration push aside the false accusations of somehow attacking these social services that good people actually need when you're actually just going in to look for fraud and to make sure that stolen money is not being taken away from those who actually could benefit from these programs. But Luke, Vice President J.D. Vance just mentioned, he shared your reporting and says that he's directed the administration's fraud task force to look into what you found. And just a week before winning the GOP nomination in the governor's race in Ohio, Vivek Ramaswamy called your reporting very intriguing and not shocking, and added that he would prosecute fraud like this aggressively if he wins. So have you heard anything from the White House or state officials about your Ohio reporting?
Well, it's all still very early. I mean, I'm rolling out a 5-part series, and they were mostly reacting to the first one, which is really just introducing the existence of this program. We haven't even gotten into the meat and potatoes of it. So I had another story today, which has some evidence of the very, very shady characters that occupy these buildings that I went to that are almost entirely empty. And throughout the week, we're going to be bringing you the case studies of these people, for example, who have extensive criminal records and are allowed to nonetheless own medical firms or Medicaid firms that bill $1 million a year. There was a woman that had a janitorial company, and she just renamed her company to be called like One Community Mental Health, started billing $100,000. Another guy billed $22 million overall, $1 million a month. You go on Facebook, it says he lives in India and he's switching businesses to help Indians write college admissions essays to get into the U.S. that way. So it's these. I didn't see American barely the whole time. There's mail piled up under the door. One of the doors didn't even have a doorknob. So these are basically shell firms that are middlemen that take a cut as people get paid to hang out with their family members. And if we can't prove fraud there, then we've got to look at a policy change that eliminates this program entirely.
Yeah, I mean, Anthony, it's difficult to prosecute these things at the federal level, and there are a lot of these states like Minnesota and California, for example, don't want to help the federal government rid these programs of this type of fraud, but there's a lot of it. I mean, billions of dollars of hardworking American taxpayer money, American money that is being stolen. So how does your office and the task force plan to hold these people accountable? Is it what Luke says? You need to just eliminate the programs altogether and start over? It seems like the fraud is so widespread that you can't just look through it and hope that you find everything.
Well, I think for the immediate, it's the fact that President Trump and Vice President Vance are providing the resources that we need. President Trump nominated a U.S. attorney focused on fraud. Colin McDonald has been in touch with all of the investigators, explaining exactly the resources that we could have in our offices, making attorneys in our office special U.S. attorneys so that we can see the investigation right through the prosecution. I mean, there is hundreds of billions of dollars that is at stake here, and it's become really a wholesale government approach where every agency, every department is utilizing the resources given by the president and vice president to investigate and to hold these people accountable. I mean, just a couple of months ago in Boston, we had UI fraud and SNAP benefits where these two individuals were actually utilizing it to run a restaurant. I mean, we have over $1 billion that we found on prepaid debit cards from the pandemic that now we are working with the U.S.
well, that's
Treasury.
where a lot of this started, was all that COVID money that was floating around, and it's just gotten worse. But we will continue to follow it. Taxes should never be raised again with this amount of fraud going on. Luke Rosiak and Inspector General Deposito, great to see you. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.